because whether you knew it or not, subconsciously, you thought that on yourself and you caused that to yourself. So that's why Uncle Joe Blow or whoever else, other person, came and molested you or raped you.
Are you sure that that's what
I read that's what I get out of this. Like I said, when I've done the research from Law of Attraction, that's partly what I get out of it. When they say that a lot of the things that happen is due to your energy or due to what you've thought of consciously and subconsciously. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I would correct you a little bit.
Okay.
Because what I've learned through numerology, ancient teachings basically,
Okay.
is that you know before you enter the body. When the body is in the womb, your soul chooses that body. Your soul, being outside of a human body, can see the future of that particular body. So you choose the body you go into, and you choose to go through all those life events because you're attracted to that type of learning process. That's the learnings, the lessons in life that you want to learn spiritually. So you choose that body and go through those lessons.
But when you're in that body, is it fair to say that you really know what you're going to go through, compared as opposed to your soul already knowing this before it enters the body? This shit still locks itself up, so I got to go through all this extra crap. Sorry, y'all.
Well, while she deals with her phone, I'll continue. It just depends how well do you know your soul. How well do you know God? You know, because if you're say someone who meditates a lot, then you'll say yes, God can see everything. But if you're not someone who meditates a lot, you know, you have another religion that tells you not to try to look into the future, then you would deny these things.
I just disagree with you on that because I don't believe in God, but yet I meditate all the time and I listen to my ancestors. But it took me years to really understand that stuff too. And I feel like when I was believing in God and I was reading the Bible and I was trying to follow the New Testament and trying to follow everything.
Well, you're going a different place than I was. God and the Bible are totally
Okay, please go ahead, please. Yes, go ahead.
No, I'm not with the Christian Bible.
Okay.
They refer to God as Him and He, and that really kind of frustrates me because God is a whole different. God is an energy to me, and
okay.
As far as I've learned, all thought is an energy, and its thought lives forever, and so yeah, you can.
Now I do agree with you on that because that's something I did learn later on in life.
But you got thought energy, and then you got the creative energy,
right?
Which is the God.
Right, and I do believe that we all technically are gods. I do believe that. I believe heaven and hell is a form of energy. That's just a higher vibration, lower vibration.
So our God, the part of us that is God, the soul, potentially has the ability to see that future.
But is it fair to say, as a kid or a baby that doesn't understand none of this stuff, because this is something we learn later on in life. This is not something you really learn when you're younger. So is it fair to say that we know how our life is going to be when we're kids, when we're younger? Because all we're doing is feeding on what people tell us and what we see and what we're being taught.
Well, you have the physical knowledge and then you have the spiritual knowledge. So as far as your mind is concerned, no, I don't think it's possible to really know what you're doing. But I do think that spiritually, I mean, it's possible that spiritually you do choose to go through certain struggles in life.
Okay, so I'm reading this, and it says, you know, it's the belief that by focusing on positive or negative thoughts, people can bring positive or negative experiences in their life. It was like I think you took it down to the barest fact. And not filled it out. That don't mean that nothing bad will ever happen to you. That means that if you're a positive person, you put out a positive energy, and so you get positive back.
But see, in all fairness too, positive attracts both positive and negative.
And
whereas negative attracts negative. I mean, am I wrong? Because this is even science.
Well, I like what she said because, you know, I try to smile a lot with people, and I get a lot of smiles back because I'm smiling at them. and I know it's affecting their brain, the power of attraction. It's attracting them to me to make them want to smile at. I use this all the time. I use it every day, just because it releases endorphins and it makes you happier.
Absolutely. No, I mean, like I said, I do agree on some of this stuff, but I know, and then this is just in my experience, I can smile at people, be as positive as I want to be, and I can attract both negative and positive. And I know I'm not the only one, so that's why when I say, and then like I said, just if you just remember going back into your science class, and they tell you positive attracts both positive and negative attracts negative.
Sure.
But just like I said, just because you give off positive thoughts or you give off a positive vibe, don't mean that that's always what you're gonna get back. I didn't say that. What I was saying is that it doesn't mean bad things are not gonna happen. You know, Murphy's Law. I mean,
well, yeah.
that, you know, it's gonna happen. But I think too that if you give, that you get more back positive if you give off more positive. Now the Illuminati thing, I know nothing about.
So where we come to the conversation is, we just talked about the power of attraction and whether our lives are set up based on whether we want to help people or not, whether we're attracting the help or we're attracting some kind of negativity, or are we really controlled so much that we're kind of being forced to be negative with each other? Or is there some kind of control structure like a lot of things we've been talking about? If there is a structure to control us, our populations, through poverty, through reproduction, this would all have to be organized by some type of governmental structure that goes beyond the federal and the state level, goes beyond the president, and it goes worldwide. Like something the Illuminati is known for is the Bilderberg meeting. You have this meeting every year, every 2 years, and different heads of states from different countries all over the world, hundreds of people get together in a room to meet. And it's all secret. They don't allow any journalists inside. You get some things leaked out, but in the end, they have secret meetings with a bunch of high-powered people, and we call them Illuminati. We really don't know who they are, though. I mean, it's just like trying to learn about your president or your state judge. You could read as much as you want. You really don't know who they are until you really spend some time with them.
And that's true.
And then even then, you only know as much as you can learn about them in a matter of time you spend with them. So who are these people that are going to these Bilderberg groups? Who are these Illuminati? Who are these people behind the president that's setting us up for all these different types of control?
I'm gonna say I find that hard to accept. The reason being is because some of them, I mean, you're saying heads of states from different countries and stuff. I don't think that they could, that it's man. It's man. And so therefore I don't think that they could actually agree enough to actually be able to do that.
I get this all the time.
I do believe they can.
I get this all the time.
I don't believe that they could get together enough to agree enough. And somebody's always power hungry. Somebody always wants to be over everybody else.
But you know,
I want to be the top dog. I find that hard.
I kind of believe it falls back kind of to the 1%ers though. Because your 1%ers have more power than everyone else. And at the end of the day, your 1%ers are the ones that can tell you how it's going to be at the end of the day. Even with your president don't have that kind of power. Congress, legislation, if I'm saying that right, does not have that type of power neither. Because if 1%ers say this is how it's going to be, this is how it's going to be, and that's kind of where I was going back in the first time when I said the presidents are puppets. All they're doing is just going back doing what the 1%ers told them to do.
But my thing is that even with the 1%ers, they each have their own agenda. I don't believe that their agendas are connected, because they all trying to get as rich as they can. I want to be richer than you, because then I'm going to have more power than you. And that's the way I feel. I don't feel like that they could You know, I could be wrong, but I just
See,
don't feel like that they could.
I think you're kind of new to this, and that's okay. A lot of people are. That's why I asked the question, because a lot of people go this route and say, oh, they would never agree. Countries are always fighting, right? But there's people who are controlling that country. There's people who are controlling the president of our country, and there's people who are controlling other presidents. And that's why I asked, who are they? Because we think they're like, oh, some nationalists, like they're there to protect their country. But how do we really know that?
And the truth is, we'll never really know. I mean, it don't matter how much research you do, you'll never really, fully, truly know.
And I mean, I've read a little on Illuminati. You know, and like I said, millennials talk about Illuminati a lot, a lot. And like I said, I find it hard to believe that even the 1%ers or others, whether they're nationalists controlling country or maybe they're somewhere in the background. I still don't feel that they could that they could come to a mutual understanding enough that they could do that, because I feel like men are greedy, and somebody wants to be the top dog, and that's why come the 1%ers are the 1%ers, because they want to stay the 1%ers and they want to hold everybody else down. And I don't feel like that even this 1%, if I'm a 1%er and he's the 1%er next to me, I don't want you to have more than I got.
But is it
because
also,
then you gonna have more power than me.
I'm sorry.
To me.
Now, I was also gonna say too, is it even fair to say though that okay, us three together, we have so much money in the world that we can control every aspect of what's going on. It doesn't matter if you have more money than me or not. I can still control just as much as you can control, because I still have enough money to where I can control how everybody else lives.
But my thing is.
But okay, even if you don't see how it's like think it's possible, think about it for a minute. Like, what if it was possible?
Right.
Would that be stronger than the power of attraction? Which one would win?
The
power of positive, or could we be controlled? Possibly.
I'm not saying we can't be controlled. I think we are being controlled. I don't believe it's like an Illuminati kind of thing. I believe in different ways from different sectors we are controlled. We talked about that, about population control, about how much money's is passed down and things like that. So I do believe that we can be controlled. I believe we are being controlled. Do I believe in like an Illuminati? No. Because I still feel like, just like you were saying, well, okay, it's three of us. You got money, I got money. But because we still different people. So I'm going to think different than you. I'm going to want different things than you want. So therefore, I'm looking at you sideways saying, hey, if I have more money, then that means I have more control. And so that means you need to be quiet and listen to what I'm saying. And so we can do it my way. Because that's what that is about. Is me getting my way. I want my way. I want all the power. I want all the glory. And two, I don't believe they would be that in secret, because most people, if they controlling something, they want the glory for it. That's just my opinion.
That's why a lot of the younger people, the millennials, have gotten into it, because we have a guy like Alex Jones and many other people like him who he's being taken down now, and nobody really trusts him anyways. But he took cameras to these Bilderberg meetings, and he showed all these people driving up in these limos with tinted windows. Nobody wanted to be seen. They would cover themselves up with binders. They would duck down. They showed people going to these meetings from all different countries.
And I'm not saying that wasn't happening. I'm saying I think because they're keeping it's certain things, if I was rich and powerful, that I would want to keep under wraps. You know? And
that's
I
why
want
they're not
everybody
exposing
knowing,
themselves.
and not everybody knowing all my business. You know, now
But what
you know,
if-
I'll tell all my business.
But what if there was a bunch of people who were worried about their power and gaining money, but then there was another group of people that just worried about controlling people? Just worried about
And the world's a big place now, so it's plenty of room for multiple people to have that type of control. Because one person alone is not going to be able to control the world.
And
It's not enough room for them to.
And if their only objective was control, then they would come to a certain point where they would be like, yeah, I've got to work with this guy to get control. He's got just as much money as I do. Let me go have a meeting with him and see if maybe he's got some of the same priorities and wants to work with me.
And like you said, some priorities. But it's gonna be a time when we're like this. That your priorities are not mine. And so I'm wondering why I'm giving of myself of priorities that's not mine. Why?
But if you get the same general priority as control, then you've got a meeting ground.
And I agree with that you have a meeting ground. But I feel like that it wouldn't
be perfect. It wouldn't be a perfect friendship.
It will never be perfect, yeah.
and I feel like it wouldn't be enough for it to.
But again, the world is a big place now. So even if you got maybe this person controlling this part of the aspect of the world and this person controlling the other aspect of the world, I mean, it's plenty of places they can control though. And it's not a big group. The Illuminati is not a big group. I mean, it's just a group of a small elite of people that have control over everything. So why couldn't that? I mean, if you already got all the money in the world, that you are above everything, including the law. Why is it that this small amount of people couldn't have that control? And whether you agree or not agree, that you still couldn't just have control over certain aspects.
Because, like I said, I feel like it's men. Men are greedy, and I might be okay with this small portion for a little while. But then you might get bigger than you might get a bigger portion than me. I'm not gonna be happy with that. So I don't feel like that. Like I said, I don't feel like that. I mean, it was like them trying to build the Tower of Babel in the Bible. Of course.
So you recognize that we do have a lot of control mechanisms within our society.
Oh yes.
How do you think those control mechanisms got into place? They're just accidents?
I don't believe that they're accidents. I believe that they were put into place.
So somebody planned it out.
I do believe that. I also believe that because I think because certain things were I mean, like I said, I do believe that some people can work together for a little while. And I think once they have that in place, then unfortunately, and I hate to say this about us, is that we're like sheep or herds. That once it's there, we don't try to break the cycle. We don't try to break the glass tower. We just feel like, oh, this is the way it is, so that's what we're gonna go with. And so I feel like that, maybe they were together enough to do, put a little something in place, and then because that's just like slavery. How long did slavery last?
It lasted some generations.
So 400 years.
Yeah.
Why? Why were they still able to do that? It was because they had broke us down enough that we just accepted it. And so even after us coming out of slavery, we're fighting so hard. I mean, we're fighting so hard for the little things that we don't get the big picture.
Well, I think it's more than just we accepted it. There was this kind of looping back into our topic. We had the same thing. We had cooperation amongst different countries. People in this country were selling their people to people in this country.
And that's what I was going to say too. Slavery has been going on forever.
Yeah.
I mean, it really ain't been 400 years. It's been forever.
400 in America, maybe.
Yeah.
And I know, in Egypt and stuff, there were slaves and they built the pyramids and stuff like that. But like I said, is once you're in that and like people were, once one is beat down, then he's passing that on. Hey, don't fight this. Go along with it.
I'll bring up I'll bring up another example of where countries work together. It's something I bring up a lot in my podcasts. Space agencies. The first space agency was Russia. But then America got involved. And you think, well, America did it by themselves, they didn't get any help from Russia. No, that's not true. They got their blueprints from Russia. They built almost the same shuttles. Surely they got some of the data from Russia, because Russia was doing it first. And now you got, I don't know how many different countries are all on the International Space Station, supposedly working together. But there's some things that we just work together on and we don't give up on. We stay sticking together on different countries.
Right.
But still, they was all rushing to be the first one. The first one.
Supposedly. We're told they were Russian. We're told they're battling. I don't believe that.
And I honestly don't believe we ever landed on the moon. It's too much evidence to support that we have never been to the moon. I don't think any country has been to the moon.
No moon landing.
Nah.
I think it might not have happened when they said it happened. I think it did eventually happen. I think that's why come a lot of the atmospheric things that are going on, and that's why, because we kept seeing this stuff up there messing with the atmosphere. I feel like if we was meant to be up there, we'd have been up there.
And I do believe they created a whole lot of stuff to cause the atmosphere and a lot of things to be the way they want it to be, but I know that's about to be a whole nother topic. So before I go any further, it is 4:45. Do we have time for another one, or do we need to stop? Okay. All right, then we are through, and this is our conclusion of Chillaxing. This is the conclusion of Chillaxing. Again, I'm T. This is Serena, and this is Romero, and thank you guys for coming down, being my guest, and hope you guys enjoyed our topics. Have a good one. Thank you guys so much. That was fun.
You are a really smart guy. You make me
I know. I love it. I was sitting there like, okay, let me go do some more research on this. Oh,
you made me have to pull up my phone a couple of times.
Right, that is so freaking awesome. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate this. You ain't still recording, are you?
No.